Hello, and welcome to This Legal Diva. My name is Deidre McCann, and I am This Legal Diva. Some of you may know me from before COVID. I had a internet television show called This Legal Diva, and basically I'm revamping that. So hit the subscribe button because this is my first show, and I am trying to build my followership under this YouTube channel. Now, on This Legal Diva, I will be providing you with information you can use, information that is valuable to you. Because I'm this legal diva, I'm the legal side. I have been an attorney for over 35 years. I have my own practice with my husband, and I practice various areas of the law. On the diva side, I once owned a boutique. I am a stylist and a fashionista and a world traveler. So that's the diva side. So I will provide you with information that you can apply to your everyday life. And that's valuable information. I'll let you know information about how to navigate the legal system, help you understand the legal system, and help you know when that it is important that you get an attorney to navigate the legal system for you. If any of you have ever had to navigate the legal system, you know it can be daunting. So today, with the holidays coming up, I thought I'd talk about automobile accidents. Automobile accidents could happen to anybody. I don't care if you're the safest driver. I don't care if you're a reckless driver. I don't care if you might not be a driver at all. You could be a passenger, or you could even be a pedestrian. But what do you do when you're in an automobile accident? And I also want to tell you what you can do before you're ever in an accident, just to provide you with some extra protection. Now, it's important that you get legal representation when you've been involved in an automobile accident, whether you were the driver, whether you were the passenger, or whether you were a pedestrian. And I say that when you were not at fault. When you are at fault, know this, that if you have automobile insurance, you do not have to get an attorney to represent you if you're at fault in an automobile accident. The automobile insurance company that you pay every month, pay premiums to every month, they provide representation for you. As a matter of fact, they should take certain information from you, and from that point forward, they should be the one to handle things for you. But if you're not at fault, it is very important that you get legal representation as it relates to your automobile accident. Now, you may hear someone say, well, I'm not worried about it. I wasn't hurt too bad. And that person admitted that it was his fault. Well, then that might be so on that day. You might not feel that bad on that day. And the person may have admitted. But when it comes out, once they talk to their insurance company and they think that their premiums are going to go up and they haven't given a statement to the police, they just told you and you exchanged information, things can turn around awfully quick. Also, often when an insurance company knows that their insured was at fault, they will contact you right after the accident, and they may even offer you something. They may say, well, we'll give you $500, and pay your medical bills. And you think, okay, well, that's fine because I'm not hurt that bad anyway. And sometimes you don't even know how bad you're hurt, because sometimes, because your adrenaline is pumping, you're not as sore as you might be later on, and you think everything is fine until you find out later, oh, well, you know what, that little nagging ache in my back is persistent. And, and next thing you know, I'm really kind of incapacitated for a minute here. I'm really hurt. But you've already agreed to settle. Not only that, you have to protect your own rights. Remember, the insurance representatives work for the insurance company, and their job is to save the insurance company money, not to make sure that you're okay. I had a case in point. I had a client one time who was involved in an automobile accident. They were a passenger in the car, and the driver was also injured in the car. It was not the driver's fault of the car that they were in. It was someone else who had rear-ended them. So I spoke with the passenger. And I asked him, I said, well, does the driver have an attorney? And she said, I don't think so, but here's her number, you can call. And I said, well, give her my number and let her call me, because I don't like to seem as, they say, to be an ambulance chaser. So gave her my number. The person called me, and when the person called me, she was like, well, I'm fine, I'm going to represent myself, because what I heard is, the attorneys want to get so much of your money, and I feel like if I get it, if I settle this case, I can keep all the money for myself. She's right about that. She can keep all the money for herself if she settles, or she thinks she can keep all the money for herself. She can keep all her money for herself to do what needs to be done with that money, because remember, the doctors have to be paid. If you went to the emergency room has to be paid. The car has to be fixed, and you want to see what's left over for you. So I told her, well, if she changed her mind, she has my number, but it's really important, if she's going to make that decision, that she makes it early, because we don't want you giving statements that can ultimately hurt you. So she decided to go ahead and settle her case quickly. She ended up getting, I think, about $700 or something over and above what her medical bills were. And she thought she was fine. My client, I took my client to therapy. My client went through therapy. Meanwhile, my client lost a couple days of work. So, of course, we want to get her reimbursed for her time lost out of work. It wasn't her car, so we didn't have to worry about getting her car repaired. That was up to the person who was driving the car. And I think that they did pay for her to get the other person's car repaired. The car that she was in, they had her car repaired, but she had to pay her deductible, which was $1,000. So now she was out of $1,000. Now, she didn't know how to get that $1,000 back. I knew how to, if it was my client, or if she was my client, I would have known how to get her $1,000 back, the deductible that she had to pay, but she chose to represent herself. And she thought that the insurance company was doing her a favor because she got her money quickly and she was done with it, but she also would complain. My client would tell me she complains every now and then about her back still hurting. But of course, she settled the case, and she wanted to go back to them and ask them about it, because she had, I think it was like a few months later, she finally went to the doctor, and she was having some issues, and so the insurance company basically wouldn't give her anything more. They said they settled, she had signed the papers, and so they had no more obligation to her. Meanwhile, my client was continuing her therapy. After she finished her therapy, what she didn't realize, what her friend who was driving the car didn't realize, her friend had PIP, personal injury protection. And because she had $2,500 in PIP, which was the minimum in the state that she was in, $2,500 in PIP, and so that meant that $2,500 of my client's medical bills had to be paid by the driver of the car she was in, her vehicle's insurance. So my client's bills ran about close to $5,000. So $2,500 of that was paid off the break. And then also my client had health insurance. So part of her health insurance paid for her emergency room bill. Now she had to pay the money back for the health insurance, but it was at a much lower rate than what she would have had to pay if she paid out of pocket. Meanwhile, her friend paid for her medical bills, or the insurance company said they're paying for the medical bills. So basically they used that to say, okay, we're giving you so much money. But what she didn't know is there's still certain things that the insurance company has to do, regardless of whether you have insurance. And so we represented the passenger in the car. She got her medical bills paid. She used PIP for part of her medical bills, insurance for part of her medical bills. Then we got her pain and suffering, and her pain and suffering was worth much more than the $750 that was given to the driver. As a matter of fact, the driver was still left with some of those medical bills from her emergency room that was not paid. So in the end, my client ended up getting several thousands of dollars, whereas the driver only got $750, and part of that still had to pay for. As a matter of fact, that didn't even cover her deductible because her deductible was $1,000. And so it's those type of things. And she was under the impression that the insurance company really was trying to help her. They're very nice. They talk to you very nice, and they say that they're really trying to help you. They're concerned. Are you okay? How are you feeling? Well, we're going to take care of these bills. We're going to, they're going to do all these things that they claim that they're going to do all these things, and then we're going to give you some extra money. Basically, they throw you some pennies or peanuts, and you're supposed to be satisfied with that. And that's what happened in that case. My client ultimately ended up getting several $1,000s, and her friend actually came back to me at some point and was like, she's still having some pain in her back. Is there anything she could do? And there was nothing I could, even if I wanted to do something at that point, I couldn't. She had already settled, because whenever you settle a automobile accident case, you're going to sign a release. Even if I represent you, even if you're represented by an attorney, you have to sign a release. Basically, what the release says is that we're paying you X number of dollars, and for this X number of dollars, you cannot come back and sue our insurance company, our insured, the person who caused the accident, or anybody. This settles all claims against our insured, and basically that's all you get. So they don't have to talk to you, and they won't talk to you. Well, they might talk to you to tell you, no, we're not covering anything else. So there was nothing I could do. And she was like, well, can I sue because I still have? No, because you signed away your rights, but you didn't have an attorney to represent you at the time. So you thought that, well, these people have been really nice to me, so if I have anything, anything goes wrong, I can come back to them. And sometimes it doesn't even happen. So in that case, it turned out she did get a little something, but ultimately she got nothing, because she never got her deductible back. There was a way for her to get her deductible back as well, and I could have done that for her, but she paid $1,000 deductible and only got $750 for the whole accident, for all of her pain and suffering, and still had medical bills. So that was a case where, I believe she learned that lesson, and I'm sure that she probably would think twice before trying to represent herself in a automobile accident. And the other thing is, you have to understand that the adjusters this is what they do for a living. They negotiate settlements. So they will even try to give an attorney a hard time, and it's people. A lot of people are in the misconception that things are like they were many, many years ago. Many years ago, it was like if you had, say you have $10,000 worth of medical bills, they typically gave you 3 times your medical bills. So that would be what, $30,000. You're lucky if you get 2 times the medical bills these days, unless you have a broken bone or some serious injury. They're not paying like that at all anymore. And they will try to, I've had insurance companies that even came to me and tried to give me $1,000 over my client's medical bills. Of course, we didn't take it, and we would go to trial before we would take something like that. But they tried it. So if they would try it with me, and I've been practicing law for over 35 years. So they'll try it with a person who's not represented. So it's so important that you get an attorney. I'll give you another example. I had an individual who was involved in a car accident, and he was turning left at a light. So he said he had a green arrow. The other person said that they had the green right away, which means he would have had to, because they were coming in opposite directions. This person said they had the green light, and he said he had a green arrow to turn left. So, it was basically one person's word against the other. And of course, in that case, the insurance company wasn't going to offer anything. And had he not had an attorney, he just never would have been offered anything. He called me because I know his mother, excuse me. Well, he actually called his mother from the accident scene. She called me, and I called him and talked to him, and I told him, get the names and numbers and pictures while you're there on the scene right there. So he took pictures of the scene. He got names and numbers of witnesses that were there, and they took a police report. So I was talking to because I didn't know at the time that the person was going to claim that, they had the right of way. But thank God I told him to take those pictures, get those names. So he was taking pictures of his car because his car had got hit and was knocked over to the side. And he had pictures of the other car in the accident. So they were, trying to deny liability. And so I was like, okay, well, what we ended up doing was when he gave me the names of the witnesses and he showed me the pictures, actually one of the witnesses happened to be in the picture when he was taking a picture of his vehicle, was standing by his vehicle, which of course is going to lend credibility to that witness. So if this witness come on, I'm going to show, the jury, okay, this person clearly was on the scene and saw what happened. And then it was another individual that was coming from the side of the at-fault driver, and they said that they were about to cross the crosswalk at that time because they had a street light basically that was telling them to stop, that they couldn't walk, which means that more than likely the driver coming from their side also had a red light, and my client had the right of way. Then we had somebody on the other side, and two of the witnesses lived right on that same block, so that also increased their credibility. We end up, the insurance company still said that they weren't going to pay. So we sued. And once we got the person served, and I told them, because I was dealing with an adjuster. In the beginning, you deal with the adjuster. And the adjusters, they're just trying to save the insurance company money. And then and once you sue, it goes to an attorney. And the attorney looks at the case more like, is this case I really want to fight? It's a possibility for me to win this case. What's the likelihood of me winning this case? Once he talked to the witnesses, I gave him the witnesses' names and numbers, talked to them. I sent him the pictures and said, by the way, this person right here is the person you're going to be talking to. He's in this picture. Clearly, he was on the scene. Clearly, this is what he's going to say, but you can talk to him yourself and find out what he's going to say. Probably, they waited till we served their at-fault driver, because I guess they still were going to try to fight, because we don't get him served, then we don't have a case. So once we served the at-fault driver, probably within 2 weeks, I got an offer. We denied that offer because, of course, now we want more money because, now we've had to go through these extra steps. And ultimately, we got my client a very good settlement, and my client was happy. But had that client not gotten an attorney, they would have never offered him anything. He wouldn't have known how important it was to take those pictures, how to get these statements, get the contact information for those witnesses. And I will tell you, if you've ever been in an accident in the MDVA, DC, Maryland, or Virginia, you're very lucky if the police officers take any the names of any witnesses and contact information. So it's important that you get that information yourself, because once those people are gone, they're gone, and you may or may not ever be able to contact them again. So that's why it's important that you get an attorney. And I'll give you this one more tip before we go into the diva side. There's a part of the insurance called PIP, which is personal injury protection. And in Virginia, it's med pay. I implore you to get as high as possible PIP or med pay as you can afford. It's only a few more dollars per month. The minimum in DC and Maryland is $2,500, which basically means if you get in a car accident, or you and all of your passengers are each entitled to $2,500 of their medical bills being paid, regardless of who's at fault. And same thing with MedPay. But you can get $10,000 worth of MedPay or PIP. And the more you get, the more of your medicals that will be paid. And the more of your medical bills that are paid, the less that you have to pay back when you settle your case. And so that's more money going into your pocket. So I think that $10,000 was the most that I had one client had at one time, which was actually really good because she had a great deal of medical bills, and that really, really came in handy. So I would say to you, if you have medical insurance now, you have not medical insurance. If you have automobile insurance, go to your policy and see if you have PIP or MedPay. If you don't, I would tell you go and get that added onto your policy today. It is not going to be very much. You may pay $10 more per month, but that's nothing compared to the fact that you would get, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 worth of coverage, covering your medical bills if you're ever in an accident. So do that today. They say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that's basically some preventative measures you can take so that if you're ever in an accident, you will have, and it also covers lost wages. So say if you got $10,000 worth of coverage, but you only have $5,000 worth of medical bills. Well, guess what? If you got $3,000 worth of lost wages, you can get that $3,000 right in your pocket. So you don't have to lose any of that. And even if you lose time from work and you take sick leave, and so you don't lose the money, but you lose your sick leave, you can get reimbursed for that. So even if it's $3,000 worth of sick leave you take, you can still get reimbursed for that sick leave. So go and make sure that you have PIP or MedPay on your coverage on your automobile insurance. Now, because I am that girl, I am a diva, so I want to give you a little bit of a diva portion. I'm not going to give you too much today, but I'll give you something. Because the holidays is approaching, I thought it would be nice to talk a little bit about decorating for the holidays.
Santa
and some places that you can go.
just slip
Now,
a sable
I
under
love to
the
decorate for the
tree
holidays.
for
And,
me.
you can decorate on any budget.
Been an
You just have to have a
awful
little
good girl.
imagination. Some places that I love to buy decorations for, and I have 3 Christmas trees that I typically decorate for Christmas. But Home Goods is a perfect place to get decorations. And a little tip that I'm sure you may or may not have heard, it's the best time to buy holiday decorations is immediately after Christmas. So now it's too late now, but you can plan for next year because everything goes on sale. Sometimes it's 50%. Sometimes it goes up to even 75% off. And so, you wait till right after Christmas, go and get your holiday decorations and you'll be set for the next year. But Home Goods is a great place. I love Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue for the unique decorations. Even Target has really nice decorations. So I would say shop all those and have something in mind, a theme in mind. Like one Christmas tree I was just like an old school Christmas tree. I bought wooden ornaments from the dollar store. I actually got some things from the dollar store. I got some things from Target. Got some things from Home Goods. Put candy canes on it, red ribbons. Ribbon you can do a whole lot with ribbon. You can do a whole lot with ribbon. Put your ribbon. You can swirl it around the tree. You can make bows with it. And you can just do a lot with ribbon. And I would say follow a color scheme. So whether you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 trees, or you just have one mini tree, just miniature tree, follow a color scheme. Sometimes, sometimes I want to match the color scheme of my living room. Sometimes I just say I'm going to match the color scheme. The tree is going to be this color, and then I get wrapping paper to match that color. And if you do that in a cohesive way, it doesn't have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to be the same design. But if I say, like last year, I think my main tree was pink. So I bought a bunch, and I got, the other place, Michael's. Michael's, you can get a lot of good ornaments from Michael. So I had a bunch of bulbs and pink and got different wrapping paper. And then you even do little things like you have the little, when I did the traditional Christmas tree, I had the nutcracker. And but if you get with pink, I had a Santa Claus with a pink robe, I guess it is, a pink robe on, and it was more like the Kris Kringle, I guess it was, and you just, whatever your color scheme is, if you want red and green and gold, you can also buy, like, one year I bought the real gigantic big bulbs, and then you only have to buy a few of them. You buy 10 of them, and then make them whatever colors, if you want, like I say, one color or different colors or whatever, you do that. But the one thing that makes it all go together is if you have a color, one or two colors that's your color scheme, you have the wrapping paper, and then you buy little Christmas or holiday ornament whatnots to go around in the room that you have it, whether it be reindeer or a small Christmas tree to go on a table that's in the same color. Whether you have garland, and you can take garland and put it over. If you have a mantle, a fireplace mantle, you can put the garland over the mantle and just attach some big bulbs to it in the same color of your Christmas tree, of the ornaments on your Christmas tree. You can take plain wrapping paper, one color, and just make your bows in the color of within your color scheme. So that's a lot of it. And another thing you could do for the Christmas time, during Christmas time, I like to have Christmas music playing in the background. If you have a little speaker, and you can play it through a phone or some other instrument, you can play your music through the Christmas music. And then I also like to get the soaps that has the Christmas, like it will have the pine smell, Christmas pine smell to it, or the just the holiday smell to it, vanilla, and then candles. Love candles. Candles are as another way. So you basically set the mood. And even on my television, sometimes I'll put on the channel. I get YouTube on my TV, and I put on a channel, and I do have a fireplace, but I even put a picture of a fireplace on the television, have that going on. Not last year, but the year before last, I had a holiday gathering where I had friends and family over, and I had that Christmas tree playing, the Christmas fireplace playing in the back on the television, and with music playing, and it was just a really, really nice atmosphere. So that's just some tips that you can do for Christmas time. Definitely after the holidays, go by those stores. Michael's is a great one. Home Goods is a great one. And pick up some of those things for the holiday, for the next year's holiday. And before you go, already have in mind what your color scheme is, or what you want to do. Do you want a traditional one? Do you want a diva one? I mean, when I had the friends over for the holiday gathering, I had these bulbs, and I had a marker, and I got this from Michael's, and I had each person, when they came, each family or person, when they came, to write something on there, like a happy holidays from the McCanns, put that on the bowl, and I made that a friendship tree. So, that was something I did. So now I have that little friendship tree out last year I had it out again, or the bulbs out, because I mixed up my colors and stuff. And so I did that. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did that on, I don't know if it was pink bulbs, but it was more of a neutral color that I can add to any tree. So, and if I do it again, I'll probably have that again, where people can put their names on it, just so it's just memories for me. So like when I'm going through the boxes and I'm looking, I was like, oh yeah, I remember when this person came by, we had that Christmas gathering or the holiday gathering, and this person came by. We really enjoyed ourselves. And I go back through my pictures, on my phone, and actually, because I lost my phone in Africa, which is a whole nother story, but I did post some of the pictures, and so I can go back through some of my posts and see those pictures. But making holiday memories is very important. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to say before I go, I wanted to say that this year for Christmas, I'm doing something a little different. I always go overboard. Yeah, I'm a diva. I admit it. I go overboard with my children and my grandchildren every year, always. And so I said, I'm not going to do it this year. And I hope I don't. No promises, but I hope I don't. But what I am doing is, what I understand is being a diva is more than about how you dress and what you do. Now, of course, I love to travel, and I think it's about experiences. And I love experiences. I love to travel. And so I want to give more experiences, but I also want to do, and I told my 2 daughters that instead of buying so much material things this year, I'm buying them both a course on wealth building, because as many of you know, with everything that's going on and has gone on as of late, we have got to make sure that we have ourselves together. We have our finances together. We have our things in order so that regardless of what goes on, regardless of who's in administration, who's running things, what's going on around us, we have our finances in order. And so I saw this wealth building. Actually, I was watching YouTube and I saw a channel that talked about wealth building and the importance of wealth building. And I'm also in some courses about wealth, building wealth and creating generational wealth. And so therefore, I want them to take that course, because I'm thinking, I can buy them some $300 pants, and 2 years from now, they might not even know where they are, or they might know where they are and can't even fit them. But if I could give them a course, a $300 course on wealth building, and they apply the principles that they learn in that course, then that can last them a lifetime. And so I want to give more meaningful gifts. I have always, with my grandchildren, I've always given books, because I think that's important. Knowledge is king. And so I try to give them books with every gift that I give them. But I'm teaching. I now want to teach, as I'm learning more myself too, about wealth building, multiple streams of income, making your money work for yourself, for you, becoming your own bank. Those type of things. And those are things that, I know if at my age, I can start learning more about these. Some of the stuff I know, some of them I'm expanding my knowledge on. But if I can be doing it at my age, certainly them at their age, if they start now and they start teaching their children, my grandchildren, well, my oldest daughter has children, my grandchildren, just imagine how much further ahead they'll be when they get to my age. And so I think it's important that we do that we start to do that. And being a diva, you don't want to just be the diva. Oh yeah, you go, you pass on and whatever, and your children's like, my mama was a diva. She was that girl or whatever. But they don't have anything, and they don't have any knowledge of how to build wealth. I've built wealth, but I want to build more wealth. I mean, I want to certainly elevate even higher than what I'm at now, and I know that I've had the tools. I've seen them. I'm starting to implement the tools, but I also am starting to stress the importance of showing and passing on my knowledge to my children and guiding them in other directions so that they can get knowledge from elsewhere. Because you know what? I can learn from them as well. If they go out and they learn something, hey, they can come back and bring it and teach it to me. Because I'm the type of person, I feel like you can learn from anybody. And so they learn what they learn and bring it back to me. I'm certainly going to share what I learned with them, but I also know that there's other resources that they can get even more information, that we could get more information about wealth building. And that's what, I think that's one of the more important gifts that I can give to my children, and I'm going to be giving to them this year. So I advise that you might want to do the same, because we want to elevate, and we want to elevate together. We as a people want to elevate. So I'm going to continue to bring information to you, and I'll even from time to time provide you with information that you can tap into outside of this Legal Diva show. so that you can use that information at your leisure. But I hope that you've learned something about being in a car accident and what to do if you're in a car accident, what to do before being involved in a car accident. Never, ever, ever give a statement. Never, ever, ever give a recorded statement or give a statement to your insurance company or the other at-fault insurance company. I don't care who call you. Tell them you will call them back. Speak to an attorney first. If you decide that you don't want to get an attorney and that you want to represent yourself, still talk to an attorney first. You can talk to one for free. You can talk to me. 301-925-4069. Deidre McCann. You can talk to me and decide whether or not you want to get an attorney first before you make any statements, because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law if necessary. So you don't want to give the bear the gun. So again, get your PIP, personal injury protection, or med pay. Make sure you have that coverage on your vehicle before you ever are involved in an accident. If you're involved in an accident, take pictures, get statements, get contacts, and call an attorney and talk to an attorney before you talk to any insurance company. And hire an attorney if you are not at fault. If you are at fault, your insurance will represent you. For holidays, you can go to Home Goods, you can go to Michael's, you can go to Marshall's, TJ Maxx, you can go to Neiman Marcus, you go to Saks. But get you a color scheme going. You can even go to the dollar store. Get you a color scheme going, get you a theme going, and you'll have a wonderful Diva Christmas. And for Christmas gifts, if you have young people in your life, or even older people, or people your age in your life, and that you want to help elevate, then think about getting Christmas gifts that will, whether it could just even be a book about wealth, but will help elevate you, that person, that person's family, and teach them about wealth building. This is Deidre McCann, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And actually, I'll be back to you before, hope to be back to you before the holiday. So take care, and until next time. And again, if you haven't already, subscribe for more information like this. Bye.